Hello, my friends, and welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. After being led away from the expedition by what they thought were dwarven guards, the party was ambushed by hired killers, including Rollo Tanglestrand. The friends quickly dispatched the attackers, but most of them got away before they could be questioned. Even now, their motives remain unclear. Welcome back, everybody. Today is we got a special event going on today. We have a guest DM, usually playing Ahara. Gordo is taking the role as Dungeon Master for the next couple weeks, yeah?
That's the plan.
Awesome. So I'm super excited to just kind of hang out and play. And yeah, let's let's get on with it.
Right on. Well, welcome everyone. So the last time we kicked off, you guys had sort of gone to bed, and you're sleeping in the caravan. So we've got okay, cool. Yeah. So basically, during the evening, all of you were sort of troubled by dreams. Uh, very very strange, kind of murky. None of you can kind of remember it quite right, but when you wake up in the morning, all of you are kind of aware of these dreams that troubled you. So you wake up and you think everything's normal, and you get sort of back to the path that you were on when you had last left the caravan. But what you find there is quite a bit different. Uh, the dirt trail that everything had been on kind of looks like rock, like someone had just carved one big long rock and left it on the ground where the dirt trail used to be. It's like someone turned the entire path into one giant rock. And next to the track, or next to the path, uh, you see something kind of looks like a track of some sort. It's like you would kind of like a miner's track that you would carry a cart on, but it stretches on in each direction. It looks very, very, very straight. And so I'm going to change your view.
Ooh.
And so when you look around, it's not clear to you whether or not you're in the same path you were. Everything geographically looks generally the same, but everything that was there has just kind of been altered slightly. As you look around and kind of get to where everyone should be going, you realize that it's your adventuring party, the seven of you, plus the cart and nothing else. The entire caravan is just gone. And so this is where we begin.
Are we all in the back of the cart?
You're all. I mean, you packed up. You know, when you were getting everything, when you get everything together to pack up for the morning, you got everything in the cart and on the road, and you're getting the cart to the road when you realize there's no one else around.
Something seems off.
Did we miss everyone? They wouldn't leave without us.
Who's
yeah. Like
driving
having
the
issues?
cart? Yeah, it looks like Sycon's having some internet problems.
All right.
Oh, audio issues.
Oh, audio issues. So the back of the cart, the back of your cart seems to have it's as you left it. There's no one inside it. All of you are outside the cart.
Okay, so we've all gotten out. But was the cart in motion? Was anyone driving it, or did we just kind of come to and it's like stopped?
Yeah, you had all kind of stopped for the night and just decided to take a nap, and no one was, and the caravan wasn't supposed to be moving during the night.
Okay, so we all woke up and everything's different. Caravan's missing. Yeah.
Yep. The only thing that remains seems to be your stuff.
Perhaps I've gone too hard on the alcohol in the previous evening.
I don't think you were the only one.
They wouldn't have left us behind.
The heroes
Furthermore,
of Benavar? Oh, of course not.
have you seen the captain?
This doesn't even look like the same place.
Antarius is not with you.
I'm gonna go over one time and just check and make sure that I have all of my personal effects.
Okay. Everything, as far as you can tell, everything is there.
You see Valphalin kind of patting himself down. He's checking pockets. He's checking his back, his pack.
About this point, you hear a faint hum. It's kind of like a bumblebee or something. You hear kind of this strange hum. It seems to be coming from the south, and it's approaching pretty quick. And as it comes across, you see that there's actually what looks to be a ship, like you'd see on the water, but it's in the sky.
Ooh.
And it sort of shoots overhead past you pretty quickly, headed to the northwest. And as you kind of come around and look where it's going, up ahead to the northwest, you see what looks to be a massive city. You'd call it a city, but it's probably bigger than what you're used to ever seeing. More sprawling, large buildings. And the city definitely wasn't there when you went to sleep. It's just beyond a hill ahead.
Well, that's out of the ordinary, don't you think?
What place is that?
Do we still have our map?
You do have the map. Can I just...
Oh, no need. I was just going to refer to it real quick and say, this city is not appearing on this map. You think for such a large metropolis, it would have been noted by some explorer.
Can magic users sense anything?
You could try.
What do you want me to roll?
Go ahead and roll a I don't know.
I think usually that would be
an Arcana check. Do you have detect magic?
Let me see.
that would be, I think, underneath. I'm not sure if that's a spell or if that's still an ability on this one.
So. I don't see it anywhere.
Okay. You can roll an Arcana check.
With advantage?
Sure.
Okay.
We have a 15.
So you can feel a hum of magic kind of all around all of you. It's almost like a spell residue, you might describe it. It's not quite that there's magic around, just that magic has been used.
So I'll relay that to everyone. If anyone knows what to do with that information.
Curious. Oh, if the captain were here, he could easily tell us the source of this magic.
Well, there's no sense worrying about what ifs. We have to deal with what we've got.
Indeed. Well, I'd say the only course we have is to investigate this city. What say you?
I mean, it's the only thing we can determine right now.
And you all?
Sounds like fun.
We're off to see the wizard who did this magic.
It's not like we have much else to do.
All right. So you're all headed sort of up the road that way?
Yes.
All right. So I guess Ahara hops in the cart to drive the horses, and you're on the road, and you kind of head up to the northwest. As you come up to the hill that the hill's kind of obfuscating the city just a bit. As you come up over the hill, what you see before you is kind of strange. Like it's hard for your eyes to process what you're really looking at. But you can see that as you come up to the top of the hill, before you is a valley where the city is. But it's but what you're seeing is the city that you saw from back there and another city in the valley, and between them is nothing. The entire city seems to just be suspended in the air above another city that's below it.
Does there seem to be any obvious way to get into the city?
Not the, as far as you can tell, not the upper city. You can see probably what the airship was that passed you. It looks like it's kind of docking off to one side of the city. But as far as you can see, there doesn't seem to be any direct connection between the lower city and the upper city, but you could walk to the lower city.
I've only read about such things in fantasy.
I've not even heard stories of this in the great libraries.
Something ill is afoot. Odd as a miss.
Ahara brings up the dream that he had last night. He says he was very much troubled by dreams. What about anyone else?
Yes. I too was troubled by dreams that I cannot remember.
Yeah, Sam definitely had a hard time sleeping last night.
I mean, generally, I don't have dreams unless they're very memorable, but I do remember having trouble lying still.
You just dream of the barmaid. Wait, you just dream of the barmaid.
Well, not necessarily the barmaid. Could be anyone, as long as they're female.
So you can see the city, the lower portion of the city below you is kind of definitely bustling and beaming with light of the morning, and everything seems kind of moving about. A large portion of the city seems to be blocked by the sun, and you can see that it looks like it's possible that light never shines on a good portion of the.
Oh, interesting. Do there appear to be any gates or anything like that? Any access points that we can see at all?
It looks like the path goes straight into the south side of the city, and there's some bits outside the city, and then there is kind of a wall that houses the inner city.
Well, I suppose we should approach the city then, eh? Onward then. Let's see what the story is here.
All right. So you kind of walk up to the city. As you start approaching it. It's like you approach a couple buildings that are a little farther apart, and they start to get closer together and a little denser. And everyone that you pass is sort of staring at you. Most people are wearing simple clothes, but they look kind of a little different from what you're wearing. Little finer cuts, a little more close form fitting. But everyone definitely kind of stops and looks at you like you're very strange.
Well, Phelan kind of tugs his hood to sort of obscure his face a bit more.
Well, Yimfir is going to sort of flare his half cape out a little bit so that it's further behind him.
Usually the first thing you do when you approach a new city is to locate lodging. Perhaps we can find an inn.
So as you're walking through part of the city, you see some people. They're kind of wearing what you might describe as a uniform of sorts. Both wearing similar color, and everything is of similar cut. They're holding these strange kind of steel tubes in their hands, and it's kind of like they're wearing weird bulky leather on the top, but it's covered in some kind of cloth, and it's kind of strange looking. And they sort of approach up to you and say, "Hey, where y'all headed?"
Just looking for some information.
Yes, what city is this?
Well, we're in Bunker Hill. This is Lower Merhold. Is there something you're looking for?
Yes, a place that we might lay down and rest. Or purchase some alcohol.
Both of the men kind of smile at the mention of purchasing alcohol. The first one steps forward and says, "Look, I'm Officer Darkhill. This here's Officer Sandbad. If you're out of towners, you might want to head to the Civic District. They've got some touristy info there. If you need a map, I've got one on me."
That would be very useful. Thank you.
All right, so he hands you a map. Let me switch here. He hands you a map and he says, "You can see there, Old Town. That's where the Civic District is." And then he notices that you got a couple tiefling with you. He kind of looks at them and he says, "You tieflings, you might want to watch yourself. Maybe avoid Weston. They don't really take kindly to your folk."
Oh, understood. Thank you. Tess pulls her hood up.
At this point, one of them sees Cyrene and says, is that a real fae?" And the other one says, I thought they'd been wiped out in the cleansing." "Oh, you better watch yourself. They got a lot of folks not taking kindly to any kind of magic outside of Phalorn."
Have I heard of this cleansing before?
You have not.
Have I heard of this cleansing before?
None of you have heard of this cleansing that they're talking about.
So Cyrene is gonna fly into Tess's hood and kind of hide out back there.
What is this cleansing of which you speak?
You know, the cleansing. It's been 100 years or more. I don't know. You read a history.
And it sounds as though during this cleansing the Fae were destroyed utterly. Is that
Well,
so?
I mean, that was the goal. I don't know. You there? You look like an elf. How old are you? Ahara says, 250s. Says, you should have been alive then. I bet you remember it. Ahara shakes his head and says, "No, I must have missed that." These guards seem very confused by all of you. And they said, one of them says, where are you all from? You must be from a small town."
Where I am from is of little import. Now, if I may inquire as to where we may find food and lodging.
Well, I mean, there's hotels all around the city. If I were you, I'd probably head to Old Town and see if they can set you up with some kind of tourist info. I don't really know how to help him from there.
I see. I am gracious for your assistance. That is, I am thankful.
All right, yeah. Well, if you need anything, look for any of us. We'll try to help best we can.
Thank you. My fellows, I believe that the bar, the inn, may be a good place to get some information. With that, I guess I'm going to start heading toward the bar, or toward Old Town.
All right. Which way are you? Which way are you walking? So you're starting out kind of this big path here, this crossroads, as kind of starting coming into the town.
I think we would want to go through Bunker Hill and maybe cross in through Shantytown if what they was talking about Weston being a possible area for the tieflings to be concerned with.
I agree.
All right, sounds good. So you kind of head up and then head sort of eastern into Shantytown. As you're going through, as you come in through the gate, it looks, pretty normal. You see, as you kind of pass Weston, you start to shy away from it. You can see that it looks kind of like a trading district. You see a lot of dwarves. A lot of the stuff kind of looks like your tradesmen stuff you'd make with your hands. But you kind of head away from that into the shantytown, and Shantytown is clearly the slums. From what you can see now that you've passed into it, it is literally shady. There is no sun in this area of the city, and it looks like it probably never gets sun. And there's a lot of just kind of greenish mold and mildew that has grown over time. And as you look around, you can kind of see some really interesting, fantastical things. You see some shops that hanging things that look to be of magic in nature, and you see other things that you would describe as magic, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of source of the magic, like lights that seem to be lit up on their own, a lot of glowing things, a lot of different things that look like they were created maybe with magic, but you see no evidence of magic in them. And as you're kind of making it through, it's clearly that you could probably find any kind of prostitute you were ever looking for in this area of the city.
If there are any girls there, I want to do them.
So, and you guys are just kind of going through into Old Town?
Yeah, I guess we'll continue into Old Town. Unless any of you want to stop and check stuff out, of course.
No, I think just continuing into Old Town sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, let's continue into Old Town, see what we can learn.
Okay. You get to Old Town, and it looks like, it's not a very creative name. It looks like most of the buildings here are older than the rest of the town, and maybe this is what the town once was, maybe long ago. It's kind of hard to tell. But around you can see things like what look to be a building full of more of those people in their strange uniforms with their strange steel tubes. You see bigger buildings with lots of columns and some flags outside, and there's the ones there that one says something about there being information inside, but the writing is very very calligraphic and kind of prettified, and it's almost hard to make out.
Interesting. Do I notice anything about like the architecture around me? Like, is all of this pretty normal? Does it seem different in some way?
Try rolling a history check.
Rolling it.
You're in a city.
Could you describe the writing again?
So when you look at the writing, you can tell what it says. You can tell there's definitely something about information in one of them. But the spelling, it's like, some of the vowels are in different places, and it's almost like you're looking at maybe a different language, but it's clear that it is the same language you speak. It's like they've just spelled everything differently. And some of the characters they use to spell words with are just slightly different, and it's very fancy. It looks kind of like script or something that's very fancy signage.
So what I'm going to go ahead and do, you're going to see, so you know how to do how with your hands you do sort of like the OK symbol, and how as kids you would sort of do that to sort of simulate glasses. And so you're going to see, you're going to see Ian Fear do that to his own eyes as he casts the spell Comprehend Language.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Okay.
hold for 1 second.
did you
I'm
just make
guessing that
finger
is
glasses?
just- What was that?
Did you just make finger glasses?
Yep. That's my gesture for the Comprehend Languages spell.
Well, there we go.
I think that just lets you understand anything.
So I can understand any the literal meaning of any spoken language and any written language that I see, but I must be touching the surface on which the words are written.
I did not remember that applied to written languages. Excellent. Okay. So once you put the your glasses, once you put your glasses on, you kind of look up at the sign again, and it clearly says tourism information, and it doesn't look like, once you see it, it's clear that this is your language. It's just adjusted so much that it's almost hard to make out, but of course you can read it clearly.
Hey, so this over here specifically says tourist information.
How
want
is
to
it?
get some.
How is it that you know this?
Oh, it's just a little handy skill I picked up that lets me read and understand languages.
Oh, I see. An interesting trait. Well, be it that we could get some information here.
Tess makes the finger glasses and she looks around to see if it works for herself.
What are you doing?
Oh, I thought it looked cool.
So, yeah, I guess we're gonna head inside the tourist information area.
Yes, I will follow.
Okay. As you kind of start to enter the building, there's someone at the front that immediately stops Ahara and says, "I'm sorry, no pets allowed inside."
Oh,
He looks confused for a moment and says, "I guess I'll wait for you all out here."
Don't go far.
The person stopping him then kind of looks and notices just the sheer size of what is a wolf standing next to him, and is quite surprised, and sort of takes a couple steps back. "Oh, thank you," and lets the rest of. And as you enter, what you see is very cold. You've never seen anything so clean. It's almost like a temple. You go in and everything is just immaculate. Everything is kind of shiny and polished, and everything looks very clean. And there's a large open area with a couple seats that look like they're probably leather, and there's a counter kind of in front of you with just a man sort of standing back behind it.
I say we head towards the counter.
Why don't you take this one, Ian Fear?
Certainly.
Valphalin kind of pulls his hood down over his head, and he produces a pipe and lights up.
The guard immediately stops you, puts his hand up, and says, "No smoking in here."
Ah, yes. Very well. And he places the pipe back into the fold of his robe.
The man behind the counter he has a smile, but it's got that kind of greasy flair to it, like he's just somewhat disingenuous. And he says, "Ah, welcome. Come, let me answer any questions you have."
Greetings. Well, we're from somewhere else, and we've just happened upon this location. We were recommended towards Old Town here.
Old Town. Looking at the likes I'd be thinking you're looking for Phalorn. It doesn't seem like you're the sort that would hang around here. As you look around, you do notice, or you have noticed suddenly, that as you've been walking around Old Town, it seems like there's nothing but humans and elves and a couple half elves. So he seems fine to talk to you, but he seems to be gesturing to the rest of them when he says that.
Yes, no, we're just passing through. We needed to get some information about the area.
I see. Well, that's so altruistic for one such as yourself. That's so nice that you do these things for the needy.
Consider it my good deed for the year.
So, if you are headed towards Phalorn, it's mostly straight to the northwest. Is there something that you need specifically in this area of the town that you're looking?
And then I'm gonna look back towards him. What do you think we should be asking about?
Well, for one, I'd like to know what's in Phalorn.
Well, I think we're going to ask. We need some help finding some place to put up for the evening.
Sure. Are you well off? Do you need, how to put it delicately, will you be able to pay for your lodgings?
Well, we certainly have coin, but I imagine that if you have some discounted locations you might have knowledge of, we would appreciate.
I'm not sure what you mean by coin. Most people in the city deal with cash.
With what? Cash?
That's what he says, yes.
Okay.
Now, as you as players have probably never heard this term before.
Right.
Right.
Cyrene looks over and like she's still in Tessa's hood and she's kind of hidden there, and she like tugs on Tessa's like hair and she says, "Ask what year it is," because she's not gonna do it.
Tess kind of motions toward Ian Fear. Ask what year it is.
Here? Say, we've been out a while, and we may not have the correct day. Can you tell us what the date is?
He tells you a day that is he gives you a date, but it seems nonsensical. It's a list of it's the 21st of some word that you can't quite make out what he says it, and it makes no sense.
Well, that's weird, because, I mean, with the,
I kind of expected him to put his hands on his eyes and go, "What day is it now?"
well, no, because the duration of the spell is 1 hour.
Ah.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, you can understand that he's saying something. It just it doesn't have significance objectively to you. It's some kind of measurement of dates that you're not familiar with.
My friends, it seems that we have become lost.
So you think that the best place for the rest of them would be in the Phalorn area, then?
Perhaps if you're short on cash, you could find lodging at the library. They usually welcome your type of people.
Well, the library might be our best bet, just for the short term, so that we can get our bearings straight. If you could recommend where that area is at.
Certainly. It's just outside the gates, of course. Your type doesn't often venture this far into the gate, you'll understand. He marks on your map, sort of just kind of right around this area, just as you come out of the gates.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for your help. You've been very generous.
Certainly. If you find yourself with some sort of cash, you're welcome to come back and book any sort of tourist destinations you might want for these folk.
So I think.
Okay, so a couple quick questions, DM. Are weapons, are they visible?
They are. They are the main thing most people are leering at whenever they look at you.
Okay.
I
So
would guess
other
so.
people walking around don't have any sort of weapons that we can recognize then?
Yeah, other than those people that walk around that have the steel tube. They seem, the way they hold them, you can tell they're weapons. You're just not sure how they work.
I see.
No one else seems to have any sort of weaponry.
Shall we make our way to Faelorn then?
Yeah, well, more specifically, we need to get to this library, see if we can get as much information as possible.
Yes. I agree. I would feel much better among the books.
All right. So how are you? You're just gonna kind of take a straight shot northwest from.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head out, and so we sort of talk with Ahara. So you know, let them know sort of what's going on. We'll all kind of whispered the word cash towards each other as we try to figure this out.
All right. As you start to kind of cross through, kind of right where the gate is, can I get a marching?
I'll take the lead.
Well, yeah, I'll be right behind him.
I'll be behind Infear with my hood up.
Hanging out in the middle of the pack.
And Cyrene is still tucked into my hood, I think.
Okay. As you step outside, Ahara joins you, and he says, "So, did you find any information?"
Well, the information we found was unusual.
Simply brings more questions than answers.
Yes, we were given a measurement of days for a date, but for the life of me, I don't know what he was saying. And it was recommended for something about cash. They couldn't understand what coin was.
It is possible that we have wound up on what some authors would refer to as another plane of being, another plane of existence.
Well, regardless, it was recommended that for the group that we have, we might be more welcome in the northwestern section of town they call Faelorn.
Indeed. Among other alarming things, I think that we should be careful with the Fae. If all were wiped out at some point throughout history, then that bodes ill even for elf kind.
Did he say anything about elves and the other Fae descendants?
Mostly, the only thing that was recommended to us is that we might be more welcome in the Faelorn area.
Interesting. All right then, off we go. As you sort of go through the gate, and you're back outside the city. I'm gonna change your view. You kind of come up to this intersection here, and there's some interesting statues of, it looks like just random street art. And as you're kind of walking through, you feel like you've got a little bit of a uneasiness to you. Hold on, let me roll.
Is this a road that we're currently on?
It is, yeah. Well, it's it's kind of like a road. It's there seems to be rock. Everything all around seems to be mostly made of rock. It's very confusing. It's almost if the ground was carved out of rock. Like and the rock that you're on is more it's like people have built kind of a cobblestone path.
Interesting.
Yes, I've not seen architecture such as this.
Stone pathways.
What is your passive perception? 11 from everyone. What's your passive perception? Passive perception.
My passive perception is 11.
11.
11.
It's based on your wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. So, as you guys are walking, Ahara notices that he kind of makes a noise like, "Hey," and kind of makes a gesture with his chin towards the left side of the road where the big statue is, and he kind of points. At this point, I guess everyone can roll initiative, or I can do that.
On it. Ah, it won't let me. Well, it looks like you got me anyway.
I don't think I added it to my screen.
Oh, did that still take? Yeah, it still rolled. Wow. Interesting. It just didn't output correctly.
Oh no, wait. Oh, Misku ruled himself. Excellent. Okay. So I think everyone got.
Yeah, it looks like the tie was broken by Tessa's higher initiative. Modifier.
All of these people failed their stealth check against Ahara, so he manages to point them out. They all rolled right in between everyone's passive perception.
Oh, gee.
I don't know. Do those show up for you guys now, or are they still shrouded?
I don't see anything.
Yeah, they're still shadowed to me. If
Okay, so he does point out that he can tell you that there's 2 hiding behind the statues on the right and at least 4 behind on the left. That there's seems to be people waiting waiting to ambush.
Ready weapons. I'm gonna draw my
this-
great sword. Bug
I
pants.
should have done this. I should have automated this earlier. All right, hit it again.
What?
Ahara moves off to this sort of direction. I can't tell if that's revealing or not.
No, the line of sight does not change for the rest of us.
I mean, I can technically see a border of some figure in this space, but
Yeah, I can see something right here, sort of. There's like a tiny little line down it. I mean, it just means they have full cover. They're fully obscured.
All right. Well, he moves up to the north, and he's gonna go take.
He's going to do what after he moves?
Oh, he's taking a shot.
Oh, he takes a shot with his longbow. Okay.
That you can't at this point. You can't see what he's shooting at, but it makes an awful noise like it hit something.
Squelch.
All right, and it is Tessa's turn.
Not really. Tessa's gonna take a step back because she's surprised and she's just gonna hold on to her staff. That's all I'm gonna do this turn.
Okay. Phelan.
Phelan calls out to Ahara. Where are they?
It was quick response of 4 here, 2 there.
Does he point or anything?
He points, like when he says here, he's pointing straight ahead, and when he says there, he's pointed toward kind of southeast of you.
4 here, 2, 3 there, was it?
2 to the
2 there. Okay. So Phelan, with that in mind, I'm going to break around the... Oh, how far do I get to move here? So snap to center. It's a 20-foot move. So I'd like to actually come around.
Okay.
All right. First person I see, I just run right up to him. So I'm going to take a couple of different actions here. First thing, I'm going to use my action surge to take an additional action on this turn, as well as the attack that I'm about to make.
Okay.
Also, who do I see in front of me?
Okay, so directly in front of you is looks to be they all look like just kind of common street thugs. The one in front of you seems to be a little bigger than the rest of them. The one in the far back looks to be the 2 in the far back look to be the smallest. They're kind of almost ordered in size, descending.
Are they brandishing any weapons?
The one that's closest up to you is holding a knife. The one that's in the middle has some kind of one of those steel tubes that you saw earlier, and the 2 in the back also have those.
All right, I'm just going to roll these. Or actually, okay. I'm going to use my distracting strike. For my first move, that's going to expend 1 superiority die. So here's my attack. This is a 15.
And that's against the person right in front of you. That hits.
Awesome. Here's my superiority die roll. Oh, yeah, 8. And my damage. So that's 11 plus 8 is 19. As well,
All right.
the next attack roll against this target has advantage. From anybody other than me.
Got it.
And for my second action, I'm going to take another swing with my greatsword. This is a 19. Damage 15.
Okay, so the 19 is the attack, right?
Yes, 19
15
is the attack
damage.
roll, 15 is the damage.
All right, he is seriously wounded for sure. And that ends your turn.
Does he appear afraid?
He doesn't appear afraid. He seems still menacing and almost angry that you're striking him.
Why do you attack us?
He kind of looks at you and kind of and just ignores the question.
I'm going to turn back to Ahara. Let's leave one alive. Perhaps we can question them.
He gives you a nod.
I'll end my turn with that.
Okay. The next, so you can see down to kind of the southeast. There's a bandit that kind of steps in view and takes a shot at. I guess Misku is right in front, so he takes a shot at Misku. He's got a steel tube, kind of like the guards had, but it seems to be one-handed. So he's gonna take a shot.
Gonna be painful.
$15 against Misku. And he misses. So he takes a shot, and it's this really loud bang, and it's like an explosion of some sort. You hear this very loud crack and bang, and it kind of reverberates off everything around. But it just kind of whizzes by, and he completely misses. And the other one, see this guy up by Phelan is going to take a shot at him as well.
He's gonna take a shot at me.
Yep. I'm going to see if I can. There it is.
Miss.
6. They're apparently these small ones are wildly inaccurate, and it misses you as well, but it's just as loud. All right, Cyrene, it's your turn.
All right, so since Cyrene was still in Tess's little hood there, she's gonna fly out, and she's right next to Misku, so she's going to attack that guy with, let me see, a magic missile. Just on the one guy.
Okay. And that's 9 damage, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. He staggers back, and at the moment he sees you, he gets kind of a almost like the look on his face starts to it turns from complete shock to anger, and he yells kind of behind him. He yells, "Ah, there's a Fae over here!" All right, and I think Ian Fear, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move here, and where is it? All right. Question. So, in the last session, we got when we got the jewels, and I put mine into my dagger. We didn't get to talk about it, but with the return spell, is that something that I can do as an action or as a bonus action?
That's at will. Yeah, that's a bonus action.
All right. So you thought you were just dealing. You thought you were angry at the Fae. Well, you're certainly not gonna like this. And sort of holds the hand out as he casts Chaos Bolt at the guy. And I'm going to use the Tides of Chaos to make this an attack with advantage.
All right.
Hang on. Where's
Ugh.
All right. So it's
Attack roll is
there a
9.
save for this?
no? It's an attack roll.
Oh, got it. Okay. So wait. So what are those two?
It's an advantage.
confused by what I'm
So the
seeing.
9 is his roll. The 7 was the second roll that was null because it's advantage.
Oh, so the 9 is the spell attack roll.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
attack roll.
All right, that misses.
Yeah. So I guess that noise was a little bit too distracting.
He seems surprised by the bolt, but then it appears to have that kind of same disdainful look that he gave Cyrene, and he yells back again. Ah, we got a magician over here.
And that'll be my turn.
All right, around the other statue. Let me check the. Okay. This other thug kind of comes around the corner, and he's got one of the longer steel tubes, and he's going to take a shot at you and Ian Fear.
Ooh.
If I can make it work.
Ooh, that is a miss.
He misses. Pew! It's even louder than the other weapons. It's just ear-crushingly loud. It reverberates off everything. Just this big and an echoey. All right, and then the other thug moves around to then take a shot at Ahara. And it's also a miss. These are really bad rolls.
These
Perhaps we're
these
lucky.
guys apparently
These guys are
don't.
stormtroopers, man.
Seriously. All right, Misku.
All right. Let me zoom in here a little bit.
Phelan thinks to himself that maybe we could take some of this technology and merge it with a sword.
Hmm.
Might go ahead and activate Rage. And I'm also going to use Reckless Attack. So I'll be swinging with advantage on melee strength, but I will also, rolls against me will also have advantage.
Okay.
And we're going to bonk.
That hits. And he is out. That one is dead.
Night night.
Nice.
And before I end my turn, I will pop Frenzy also.
All right.
There we go. And done.
Okay. Next, we're back to the bandit captain. He's you see that he's got one of those tubes at his hip, but he doesn't reach for it. He just instead wails at Valphalin again, trying to hit him with his kind of swordy thing.
Kind of swordy thing.
Kind of, so that's a formal term. Kind of swordy thing. Yeah. 17.
That is a hit.
Three. And he gets 3 melee attacks, 2 with his scimitar and 1 with his dagger. So he takes a second attack. Ten.
Oh.
Oh, that I clicked the wrong one. Hold on. That one. Okay, so 10 and 11 are the other 2 attacks.
Whew. Okay, so it was 6, 10, and 11?
Oh, no. So those were all attack rolls. So the
Oh.
17 was the attack roll. I assume the other 2 missed.
Yeah, the other 2 missed. Okay.
So it's only 6 damage.
Okay. Cool. Scary.
All right. And that's it. Ahara's going to take a shot at the thug with the 2-handed steel tube. That is a hit. Nine damage. And Talos is going to attack the captain. And he tries to bite, but barely misses. The captain jumps out of the way. Oh, no, he's got advantage because Valphalin's next to him, actually.
Wait, he made an attack against this dude?
Yeah.
He had advantage anyway, because anybody that took an attack against him next would have advantage.
Right. So much advantage. All right, and that one does hit.
Jeez.
Why is it showing double?
Does he get one damage dice per, like, level? Sometimes they do that.
2d4 plus 4 piercing damage. No, it should only add the proficiency. All right. 2d4 plus 4. I'm not. Oh, maybe you know what? Maybe it's because I clicked it and it didn't respond, and I clicked it again. I'll take the
That's
7.
probably
So he
it.
takes 7 damage.
Okay.
I was just confused by slowness.
Now let's see if that captain's strength sees.
The captain is looking pretty worse for wear.
Yeah, he needs to roll
And
that
it
strength
is-
save, right? Or be
Oh, yeah.
knocked prone.
Good call. It's super slow to roll today.
Are you using Google Chrome?
Yeah, Firefox actually.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I had to switch to Firefox.
7. That's a fail. So he is prone.
Ew. I need one of those. I need a slide whistle.
Talos pulls him by his leg when he grabbed with a bite and pulled him to the ground.
Oh no, I can't do it.
I'm gonna mark that. I'll do a web.
That works. Yeah, I have trouble navigating those two.
All right, Tessa's turn.
Okay. Tess is going to move into place right here. We're going to cast Shield of Faith on Phelan.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
That's a bonus action.
Oh, is it a bonus action?
You can, yeah, you still have an action.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay, hold on. Then we'll use Toll the Dead on this guy.
Toll the Dead.
All right.
Must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic damage. What level are you casting this at?
I guess that would be a level 3.
Oh, okay.
I'll assume your DC is higher than a 3. He definitely fails.
What do I roll?
1d12.
All right. He is. You can see he's struggling to remain conscious at this point. He looks really worse for wear. Valphalin, your turn.
Okay, I'm going to move into position over here. It's kind of
Okay.
weaving through everyone. I'm going to expend another superiority dice to use my sweeping attack against these two here. So I'm going to make my attack against him. Superiority die will be aimed at him.
Got it.
Okay, so first thing I need to do is roll my attack with my greatsword. That is an 18.
It's a hit.
Superiority dice. 7. Greatsword attack. Greatsword damage. 16. So 16 damage here. 7 damage here.
All right, first guy is dead. D-E-D.
They just like lop his head off, and then like I keep carrying my sword straight through and nail this other guy in the side or something.
All right. So his head tumbles to the ground, spews blood all over the place, while the other guy catches the blade straight in the side. He looks like he's about done as well.
After that, I turn to the captain who's laying on the ground, and I say, "You can stop this needless bloodshed. Call off your attack."
He responds, "Look, we're just trying to rob you. At this point, it's a point of pride."
Need you die for your pride?
We'll see. All right. The last remaining bandit takes a shot at you with his small tube, one-handed steel tube. Just misses. These guys are awful shots.
We're answering the question here of which is better in a fight, a sword or a gun. Well,
Much. All right, Cyrene. That's fine. So Cyrene, it's your turn.
All right, so Cyrene is going to go ahead and move. Sorry. And then she's gonna kill the captain, or at least try. He's this one right here, right?
That the captain was up north with the other group.
Oh, where?
He seems to be the one on the other side of the big man on a horse statue.
Oh, I think it's because it was blacked out. I couldn't see.
yeah, it's obscuring your vision.
Where is he?
The captain is
This one?
laying prone right here.
Oh, that one. Okay. So maybe if we try to kill that guy, then the other guys will just stop. So,
Could be.
magic missile, magic missile, magic missile.
He is dead.
Your captain lies dead. Lay down your weapons.
This thug that's immediately next to you just spits at you and says, "Go to hell, Faye."
Wait, to me?
Yeah, it's very confusing. You're not sure why he's calling you a Fae, but he seems to just use that term forever.
You choose death then. Very well.
All right.
Sorry, give me 1 minute.
Lanwillan preserve me. I tried the peaceful option.
Ahara says some people just can't be helped. I'll take a minute to point out that these maps were built with Dungeon Draft, and I used some assets from 2-minute tabletop. So shout out to them, as well as the Whataboo's medieval fantasy city generator from the map earlier. So thanks to those folks.
Nice.
Indeed. And I second that. I use them. I use all of them a lot, except for what was the other one you mentioned? The tabletops.
Oh, 2-minute tabletop. They've got some nice asset packs for
Cool.
specifically for Dungeon Draft that you can import and use.
Oh, awesome. Let's just check that out then. Other announcements. I have incoming artwork for Val Phelan.
Yay.
That's in process.
Awesome.
Good friend Remy is drawing that. You all right there, Ian Fear? Oh, he's muted.
Sorry about that. All right. Let's see. One of these guys is dead. All right. I guess I'm gonna try using Chaos Bolt on the other one then.
Okay.
Dang.
Roll a wild magic surge.
Okay. Uh-oh.
That's
That's it. That's in our thing.
roll a D100. Gordo, pull up the wild magic table. Oh, you got it?
You cast levitate on yourself.
All right. So I
So-
guess I'm gonna be flying my way out of here then.
So Ian Fear does the Ian
My
Fear.
people need me.
You know the Mary Poppins when they like make one of them fly and he's like, "Whoa," and that's like the
Yeah.
bad CG. That's what happens to Ian Fear.
So you go to cast the chaos bolt and you kind of reel back your hand, but then as you come forward, you just kind of start to float off the ground and awkwardly kind of float there, and the thug looks confused at you, then spits. All right, and it is his turn, so he's gonna try and take aim and shoot you.
High ground advantage. It's over, Anakin. I'm doing floaty stuff.
11.
11 misses.
All right, so he takes a shot and it just big boom reverberation, but nothing hits you.
These guys are the worst shots ever. I'm afraid to see what happens when they hit, though. It's like, that's a bullet.
All right. So the thug on the north side of the map, as soon as he sees Cyrene pop into view, he is focused and takes a shot. Not as focused as he should be.
He's like, ooh, fairy, shoot.
I guess to be fair, fairies are hard to hit. Misku, your turn.
Are these clones? Is this Clone Wars?
So I swing once.
You have advantage, right?
Uh.
Oh, you know what? It's 11 actually hits.
Cool.
So what's the damage coming in here?
So it would be the second panel because 1d10 is the two-handed damage. The first panel is one hand. If he was swinging one-handed, it just always
Oh,
prints both.
I see what they did. That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so it's 14 total. Is that right?
I've.
Wait. Yes, 14
Yes.
total with rage. Yeah.
All right. You slam into him, and he sort of collapses for a moment, but then stands back up.
Well,
And-
Misku's gonna swing again.
Okay.
And shout, "Stay down!" Oh, please hit, please hit.
The second swing misses.
Ooh.
He's able to regain composure and lean back at just the right moment.
When will you learn, old man?
All
And
right.
on my turn.
Can I see the one that he's attacking?
Not from your vantage point.
Okay.
There is a big horse in your way. You hear the sickening splats and thuds with the hammer, but you can't see what's going on. You can hear them.
Oh, Tetsubo, actually. We just forgot to rename it.
Oh, my bad.
Actually, it was my bad, technically, but, you know.
Definitely your bad then.
We're all bad.
The bad. All right, I'm going to send Talos in to take a bite out of that thug.
Out of crime.
Nom, nom, nom. And he misses. And Ahara is going to take a shot. Also misses. Wait, no. What? Why is that so? Oh, I see. Okay, so my total is... No, that is a hit. My bad. For 13.
That's weird. Why does it say 11 plus 2?
The +2 is the archery passive addition.
Oh.
So it's the longbow +8 +2 is... Wait, that's still... Okay, so it's proficiency. It's, yeah, plus proficiency, plus archery, and then plus
Plus your
5 for the
dex.
weapon itself. Wow. Yeah, okay.
All right.
All right, that thug is still standing. It is Tessa's turn.
Is he bloody?
He's definitely had better days. He's bleeding. He looks pretty bad. Not quite having trouble standing yet, but probably soon.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and go for a Toll of the Dead on this guy that Talos is attacking.
Okay.
Going to go grab more sake. I'll be right back.
What's your spell save DC?
Let me check. $11.
11. Okay, so he it starts to grip him, but he kind of shakes it off.
Okay, that ends my turn.
Okay. Valphalin.
So Valphalin levels his sword. Is This guy's still up, right?
Yep.
And he looks pretty beat up.
Yeah, he looks pretty worse for wear.
Val levels his blade at him. He says, "This can end now. Call off your attack."
There is no mercy for heathens. He spits at you.
Heathens.
The nerve.
They sure do seem to get a lot of water in their mouths to spit at us so much.
It's a very moist environment.
It's moist. Yeah, just gonna take a swing with my great sword.
All right, go ahead, take advantage
Take advantage.
for flanking. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, well. All right. He is definitely hit.
Damage 8.
All right, he is barely standing. He looks like he's about to fall.
I'll only ask one more time. You can stop this bloodshed. Do it.
He holds up his hand. Wait. Are you gonna let him live?
I intend to. Yes.
All right.
Drop your weapons.
The bandit that's on your other side is going to take a shot at you.
That's a hit.
Oh, finally.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
It's not actually. Oh, I missed. Oh, it's not actually that bad. If I can get to.
Aren't you wearing metal armor? What would a... Oh, I mean, I guess a bullet would be traveling fast enough to...
I think the buff I gave you is supposed to last for 10 minutes. I'm not sure how much time it's been.
It hasn't been 10 minutes. Shield of Faith.
Oh yeah, you're at 20, right? You should be at 20. Your AC.
Actually, no. I'm at 18.
Yeah, but you gain a bonus from...
Yeah.
So 20 with the Shield of Faith, right?
Well, no. My armor class is normally 16, and with the Shield of Faith, it's 20.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, it was 21.
Or with
by the
18.
way.
Sorry.
All right. 10 damage.
10 damage.
That's about right.
Okay.
And the other bandit kind of looks disgusted at the thug. Coward. All right.
Did he drop his
And-
weapons?
Yeah, so the thug that you let live, he has put down his weapon, he's got his hands up, he's on his knees. Just kind of a symbol, universal symbol of I surrender.
Fellows, we will spare this one.
All right.
Val's
Cyrene.
lisp kind of comes out a little bit. He's got these tusks. He normally tries to kind of talk around them, but sometimes it comes through. Especially when he's excited.
All right, so Cyrene is going to, because there's just one guy left, right?
On this side of the statue, there's just the one bandit. There's also, you still hear fighting down on the other side.
Oh, okay.
This one is on his knees and with his hands up.
And is this one dead, or is this one?
No, this one's up.
he's standing. He doesn't
Okay,
look
okay.
great, but he's still there.
So I'm gonna come over here and then just attack that guy with an acid splash.
All right. Dexterity, right?
Yes.
DC 12 dexterity save. That's 4 damage.
Fails. All right, he is dead.
His skin like blasts off his face as this like acid eats away
He
at...
screams and dies a very painful death, sort of writhing, and the thug has this look on his face like he's definitely made the right choice.
Ah, it's the first time, yeah. Well, One of the few times the acid splash has done some damage.
I know, right?
Ianfear, what do you see?
You've only got the one left over here.
All right, your movie in fear.
All right. Well, since I'm floating up in the air, I'm gonna.
Val is going to shout, like so that the other guy can hear him, like, "Your comrades are dead, or have already given up. Lay down your weapons, and you do not have to die."
To hell with you.
So be it.
All right, Ian Fear.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna look towards that bandit. Say, look, you're all either dead or about to die. You can surrender now and live to rob another day.
I can't go back.
So I guess I'm gonna throw my new magic dagger right at him.
All right.
Let's see.
So throwing, I think if I remember correctly, you just make an attack roll with that weapon.
Yeah, it's just a ranged attack roll usually for a thrown weapon.
So it's like you don't do your, like, you don't add your bonus to it, but you add your proficiency if you're good with thrown weapons. I don't remember how that works. I looked this up right after last session.
Well, I do have a proficiency in the weapon, but so I guess I just because if I click it, I think it's going to be an attack with.
Yeah, it'd be a melee.
Yeah. Hey, oh, hang on a sec. I think there's an option for. Hang on.
There is an option for ranged, yeah. If you click on the little gear, I think it'll give you an option for it.
Attack dex.
Ignore this roll, but yeah, see how it gives me the 2060 for my hand axe? That's because that one's primary is ranged.
All right. Give me a second.
I don't know how to actually just roll the attack with Yeah, you're just going to roll that and add your dexterity modifier, it looks like. And then if they were outside the range of that first number, then you would roll with disadvantage. And then if they were outside the range of the second number, you couldn't hit at all.
All right. So how am I gonna roll this again?
So I think the dagger is already dex based, so you're gonna roll it with your dexterity modifier. So you're gonna roll an attack with it.
All right.
And then I think it already adds your dexterity modifier because it's a finesse weapon.
Does a 12
looks right to me.
Yeah, and it's got
Yeah,
the
I think
2060 as well.
Yeah, that looks right. Yes, that hit.
Okay, then you deal 6 piercing damage to him.
All right. He grunts angrily at the knife sitting in his stomach.
And then as a bonus action, I'll just call it back.
All right, the knife disappears, and from the wound, a little bit of blood spurts out.
Was he impressed by that?
He was not impressed. He was more angry than anything.
But was he like,
Uh,
whoa, that's actually pretty cool. I'm still pissed about it, but that's actually kind of cool.
He did have sort of this look of respect, like well done with that throw kind of look. All right. And the thug up north takes this opportunity to just continue to beg for his life. The thug down south is going to take a swing at Misku. This is disadvantage, is that correct?
I don't believe that's anymore because reckless attack was for the one turn it was active.
Oh, it was just one turn. Okay, thanks. All right, then he is going to. He gets 2 shots. He's going to shoot his rifle. 16 to hit.
Armor class of 18.
And shot 2.
Ooh.
21 to hit.
So what kind of damage is this?
This is piercing damage.
And I have resistance to piercing, thankfully.
You have resistance, you said? Awesome.
Yes, during rage.
Half damage.
Okay. So he's gonna roll. That's only 5 damage coming at you then.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's nice and easy. Yeah, I think it's half damage rounded up.
It's almost every rounding scenario in 5th edition is at a disadvantage to the players, whatever that means.
Yeah, so it'd be rounded up for the player.
Yeah.
If it was damage to the player, rounded down if it was damage outcoming from the player.
Yeah. All right, and it's now Misku's turn.
Returning fire.
With big stick.
That hits. And that is enough to kill him.
Stay down. Forever.
All right, you sort of cleave through with the last final blow, and he's definitely dead. And as you all look around, it's kind of finally quiet around, and there's no movement.
Can I take his gun?
Sure.
I mean his tube. I'm taking his tube.
Yes, I'd also like to loot one of these tubes.
All right.
I'm going to take one of the pistols just off this guy right next to me. I'm just going to take this pistol and I'm going to pocket it for now.
So the pistols, if you look up light crossbow, let's see. It's a light crossbow that, well, yeah, it's basically a light crossbow, but it does 2d8 damage. Well, yeah, we can sort that later. And then the rifle is we can sort that later. But you guys, you both take those things.
Okay. Right now I'm just going to drag in a light crossbow.
Next encounter, so I started blasting.
All right. And you're of course you're not sure how to use these yet, but you have them in your inventory. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it for investigative purposes.
Okay.
So another action I want to take, I want to search the bodies.
Okay.
To see if I find anything interesting or of value.
Yeah, I say we need to see if we can maybe if they have any of this cash they called it on them.
Fair. All right. So you kind of rifle through the different pockets of everyone, and you find just a couple like really awful looking weapons that you wouldn't want to use, apart from the tubes, and then the captain, the bandit captain there. And when you rifle through his pockets, you do find a couple pieces of kind of paper cloth type stuff. It's an interesting texture, and since you've never seen it before, you don't know what it is, but you assume that this is probably likely the cache they've been talking about.
I mean, does it have any numerical notations on it?
What was the duration on that? It was an hour, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Okay, so you can look at it and you can see that it's got a picture of someone on it, and it's got some kind of inscription that says the Kingdom of Merhold, and then it's got a couple in the corners. It's got numbers, and so you find one piece of paper that's got a 20 in the corner, and another 3 pieces of paper that have 5s in the corner.
Does Merhold mean
Okay.
anything to me?
Merhold is the if we jump back to the map. So the lower Merhold is what was written on the map that he gave you.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, and I think this encounter is pretty much over.
So, and if it's still with not shortly after the encounter, I'll still be floating up as I go to Cyrene and say, "Hey, I see why you like doing this so much."
You. Is this the cache that we have heard about?
Well, it's gonna be worth trying to figure out, I think.
Well, I'm asking our prisoner.
The thug looks at you kind of like you're an idiot. Says, "Yeah, it looks like cash to me, dumbass."
Now, why would you rob us?
But to take your money.
Taking our money really worth losing your life for?
Well, this was just going to be a routine ambush. I mean, we hang out here all the time. We ambush people coming through. We take their money. It's what we do. It's how we make a living.
Well,
But we never see the likes of magic coming through here these days. You all stick to your area.
it seems now you rethink your life choices.
Well, I certainly can't go back where I came from. They'll kill me.
Interesting. Then what will you do now?
Well, I'll have to find a new place. I guess I'll look around the city, see if another gang will take me in.
It occurs to me that we could use a guide. We are in unfamiliar territory. But know this. You are on thin ice. I didn't know how to say it.
The thug looks at you disdainfully and says, "Look, if I'm going to stay alive, I guess I could lead you for a while, but I'm not going to like hanging around with Faye."
You're not going to have an opinion on that.
All right. It seems like you've got a somewhat of a tenuous pairing with this guy for the now. So he's going to hang around with you. His weapon is still on the ground, and he's still on his knees.
So is Misku nearby?
I think, yeah. So Ian Fear came up after that guy was dead. I don't know if Misku followed.
So I'm going to kick his weapon over toward Misku.
Oh, this. Can we turn the fog off? Because I'm getting like the worst image on my map.
Oh yeah,
It's just like fractal black stuff everywhere.
Go to if you're using updated dynamic lighting, you can just go in and toggle it off. Otherwise, toggle that on and then off, and it'll disable it. Yeah.
See that?
Let me move.
Yeah, why are you like in the middle?
I have no idea. It's actually.
Yeah. Let me just pull this overlay off. There we go. That should stop you from like being bound by walls and things.
Yeah. bound by the dynamic lighting layer.
All right. So Misku's got the thing. The thug looks at it and says, Are you just gonna keep my rifle then?
That is correct. For now.
Or can I at least have one of those pistols?
No. You behave yourself. And then we'll think about it. Otherwise, you stay close by, and you can rely on us for your protection.
All right.
Now, we are still unsure about how we came to be here, or even where here is.
Well, you're on the border of Northold and Phalor, and I don't know what you mean.
These words are alien to me.
If you're not from Merhold, well, I guess I could show you some places, but I don't know where you're headed.
I am from Amajokia. Have you heard of it?
The name's not familiar to me, but I don't know much outside this city, honestly. I'm not what you would call educated.
What of nearby Bunavar, Staskar? Have you not heard of them?
Bunavar. I remember. I've read about Bunavar. Well, are you guys? Is this like a role play thing? Are you LARPers? You know, I like it. I like it when my wife dresses up with the ears.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Elven girl.
I'm gonna point towards a fairy and say, "Does it look like it's a LARP?"
Well, maybe not.
I'm going to sheathe my greatsword now. You may stand.
All right, thank you. And so he's going to lead you. Where are you headed? Are you still headed towards the
library?
The library,
yeah.
Was it? So
and we'll
he
come.
asked you
And
where to.
we're headed for the library. We seek information.
The Phalorn Library? Figures.
And why does that figure?
Well, they're always taking in whatever kind of undesirables are passing through.
Much like yourself.
No, I'm talking about the Fae. Well, come on. He starts to walk off.
I follow him. Close.
All right, so he
very close.
He takes you through the city. He seems to look like he knows which way he's going. And he heads up and he comes up. And as you come up to a building, it's clear the writing definitely looks like it probably could be interpreted as library, but it's spelled kind of strangely, and it's got kind of a big dome opening with large pillars. It looks like big solid oak door, and it has these immaculate carvings. If you didn't know better, you'd just assume this was a temple or some kind of house of worship.
Well then, after you.
All right, so he walks up the steps and just kind of walks on inside. As you come inside, you see that again coming in, being a temple is the thing that you think of. You look around. There's massive windows. There's books everywhere. They line all the walls. It's just this massive place. And you can see that as you kind of coming in, there looks to be kind of a clerk's type desk, a little square desk in the front, and you can see some offshoots in the back that you can't see where they head. And as you come up to the very front there, where the desk is, there's no one around. You can see that there might be some people off, but everyone kind of seems a little quiet and self-involved. And there's a small sign. You can make out the word help, and there's sort of a button next to that.
I push the button.
All right. So as you push the button, the around the button is this sort of a strange glow, and as it lights up, it looks like it's engaged something. You can't really tell. It doesn't look magical, but for some reason there's a ring around the button that you've pressed that's lit as if not like a candle or anything, but the light is a solid light. And then as you look around, you realize that the lights all inside this place, in fact, are all solid, not a flickering of a candle or anything, but this strange kind of unearthly solid white light everywhere. And
Magic.
a half elf individual kind of starts to walk up, and he says, "Ah, are we passing through? You need information, or are you looking for a bit of help?"
We do need information.
Yes, of course. What can I help you with?
I'm seeking some information on Bunavar.
Bunavar. Oh, I really haven't heard that word in a while. If you hold on a minute, and he kind of scurries off. He's not gone for long, but as he comes back, he brings up there's this parchment paper. Let me show this to you. Show to everyone. So he brings up this parchment paper, and it's this really, really old looking map. And he says, "Is this what you're talking about here, Bunavar?"
Yes. Do you have any books
yeah.
about this city?
You're interested in its history, huh? Yeah, I don't know anything specifically about it. I'm sure we've got books on the subjects. You know, a lot of people sometimes they come in and they read up on ancient history, and I'm not one of those types of people, but I've heard of it.
Do you know how long ago it existed? When it ceased to exist?
Well, this map here is dated about 500 years ago.
500 years.
I'm not sure when it stopped. A lot of records were lost during the cleansing.
Tell us of the cleansing.
Well, we're not real sure how it started. We know that there was a plague that happened that took out a large portion of the country, and when things fell into disarray from there, the world started to kind of rebuild. And when it rebuilt, everyone fell into their own sects, and we don't really know what happened, but we know that there was a war, and that most of your standard humankind, the elves and some of the dwarves and the humans, we all apparently rose up to the top, and those poor Fey ancestors, except for the elves, of course, and dragonborn like yourself, and all those people were hunted, and I thought they were extinct. I'm surprised actually to see a fairy here.
Yes, well, we have been in the wilderness for some time.
All right. I think this is a good stopping point.
Agreed.
Yeah. I guess we can wrap up the stream and handle the experience and weapon stats and stuff.
Guys, as always, this is VGpunx, the video game punks, signing off. Keep a song in your heart.